Hi, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your September 16th to the 30th, 2025 reading for you. Now, if you are interested in a private reading, check out my website, daneharttarot.com. It's linked in the description box below, and I look forward to reading for you. So let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Oh, interesting. It's a little bit difficult to claim your power. Like you can feel somebody is being rather overbearing during this time. Yeah. Oh, but that changes rather quickly. Okay, I like that. I like that for you, angels and spirit guides. Oh, very nice, angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Oh, okay. Are you trying to start a new financial path? Because if you are, like you're kind of golden, like you're kind of blessed during this time, but you are, I'm seeing like tyrant type of energy. You are so done working for somebody else, taking somebody else's orders, doing everything else for other people. There is a sense here of like just being fed up. You really are. You're like, I'm fed up. I'm done. Especially with somebody who is, they're always being so condescendingly factual about things. I'm not saying that they're using facts. Well, they are kind of using facts as weapons, but it's kind of like they're cherry picking what they're using. And you're like, that's not fair. That's not the full story. Like you're not seeing everything. So just be mindful about that during this time, Scorpio, that you are dealing with a person, whether it is in work, whether it is in romance, that is being very selective with their knowledge and very hoity-toity about it, you know, and you're really quite done with that. With the Nine of Wands at the heart of everything during this time, you're so tired of battles. You are. You're so tired of battles. You're tired of, you know, of feeling achy, of having to prove yourself. You're done. You've also already proved yourself to yourself as you step back and as you're like, wait a minute, I did go through all that. Like I did achieve a lot. And so there's a power there. There's an authority that's coming forward for yourself during this time that's like, wait, I did do this. Like I've already done the nonsense. Like I don't need to prove myself again. And you just start to realize like how much you've done. And Scorpio, it really does start to empower you. It's like, oh, wow, I've got this. With the King of Swords, this is air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But this can also be having a bit of difficulty embracing the power of your voice or having somebody who is very domineering, who always spoke over you, you know, type of energy. So just being aware of that is going to be really important during this time, that you can find it difficult to embrace your voice the way that you want to, or, you know, find it difficult to get all the facts. You feel like things get jumbled in your head. Yeah, it's because your head is working a mile a minute. You're thinking a mile a minute about things. And that can be overwhelming. So just being aware of that and being kind to yourself during this time is going to be important for you. And it's going to be liberating, okay? But do be mindful of somebody using facts against you. And again, they are going to cherry pick, and there's a real sense of you cutting through their nonsense, at least within your own mind. You don't have to have a fight with them at all, but you are cutting through their nonsense in your own mind. With the Six of Pentacles, the past is really going to serve you well. You are going to be a bit nostalgic during this time. So just being aware of that is going to be important for you, where you're going to be looking at things and saying, you know, this reminds me of this, or this, you know, brings back those great memories. And that's going to be really important. You're also coming into balance financially, okay? You're looking at things that were out of balance, and you could be calling out things that were out of balance. And it's like, well, that wasn't right, and that wasn't right. And now you're finding a balance, a harmony, and a prosperity within yourself. So that's really great. And you are calling on the past. Do be mindful of falling too much into nostalgia, where we can just kind of like sit in our thoughts of the past, and it can make us rather morose, sad, overwhelmed, you know, type of thing. So do be aware of that. But I do see this as a beautiful thing, where you're taking these beautiful memories and you're taking this beautiful knowledge and you're balancing yourself in an exquisite way with the Two of Swords. Now, the Two of Swords is the energy that is leaving. And with the Two of Swords, you're going to see, and you have seen, that you've looked at things and you've been rather black and white with yourself. Like, it's white page, it's black print, this is how it goes forward, this is what I'm doing. And you've also released that a lot for yourself and said, no, I don't want to follow other people's paths. Like, I'm not really into that anymore. I'm not trying to prove myself to anybody else. I need to follow the path that is right for me. And you're starting to see your heart. You're starting to see what you deeply desire within yourself, your joy, your connection. And so those doors are opening, and those doors have been opening. And so that kind of like battle between tradition, or the way everybody does it, and the way that you're doing it, that's come to an end, or that's coming to an end. And you're feeling very kind of contented, very powerful because of that. It's like, oh, I figured out something that is very important to me, and I see it within myself. It brings us then to your strength, and your strength is the 8 of Wands, and that is that everything moves really quickly, and you're really adaptable during this time. You're very much that water sign energy, that fluid, liquid, moving, going energy that is seeing things in a different way. But you're also really adaptable. You're really, aligned with change, and that's going to serve you very, very well. It can make people think, oh, you're a bit like, flighty, like a little bit like, oh, you're just going to go with the tide, whichever way tide turns, you're going to go. That's not true at all. You are really geared up towards change. You are really geared up towards, insights of what it is that you truly want and where it is that you truly want to be. So you are embracing changes that really move you in that direction with the Queen of Wands. This is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So if you're born on the cusp with Sagittarius, if you have fire sign energy in your chart, that comes through very powerfully during this time. But this is you embracing your magic. You are going to be a bit fiery. You are embracing this sense of, I don't want to be kind of like the good person in the corner, right? Especially the good girl in the corner. There's always, she's always the saint or the sinner, right? Women usually, when they're depicted, they're always one extreme or another. And this is you being nuanced. And I love that. I just love that. Even with kings, right? They're always one way or another, but we tend to accept nuance a bit more in the storytelling of kings than we do in the storytelling of queens. So with the Queen of Wands, you're embracing your fire, you're embracing your tenacity. She's, again, a very masculine queen, all right? The Queen of Swords, most masculine. Queen of Wands, second most masculine, So here also kind of denoting, we're going to be as polite about this as possible here on YouTube, the masculine with the wand, with the sword, type of thing. So here, there is that element that comes forward, but there is that sense of your passion, your tenacity, your determination, your insight, what it is that you desire, where it is that you want to be is opening up to you. And as you're embracing that fire, you are starting to see your own magic, you're starting to see yourself. And there is this real sense, because you are the Queen of Cups, which is the most feminine of all the queens. You're very good at nurturing. Whenever the Queen of Cups comes up, usually people say, oh, what a beautiful heart, right? What a compassionate spirit, what a nurturing soul this person has. You're kind of over that right now. You don't want to be described as the endless nurturer. You can actually be rebelling against that during this time. Doesn't matter if you're male or female. What matters is that you don't want to be the endless giver anymore. You're done. At least for right now, we still are going to be very sweet and connected, but emotionally speaking, but you are really embracing your fire, your passion. You're building something quite concrete that brings you into a place of power. You are also looking at your magic, at what you desire, your, kind of tenacious understanding that's opening up the door. And there's a fierceness to you, and it brings you to this place where, yes, you walk in the kindness because you have the blue shoes, which, water sign energy, blue, coming through that connection, but you're embracing a new dawn. You're embracing your sun, your power, your instinct. And then we have the moon coming in. And that's the advice for the time. Not everything is going to be as it seems. Certain things are going to be hidden. With this moon also comes Pisces energy. February 19th to March 20th is the time frame. But things have been hidden. Things have been overwhelming. But this is also a time where you start to look at your dreams. You start to look at what you want. You start to say, how do I spread my wings even when others cannot see, or even when the path isn't always as clear before me as I would like it to be. So that's what opens up here with the moon, and that's what you are opening up to. So there is this energy that's coming forward for you, this sense of embracing dreams, embracing deeper secrets, embracing what you want to create for yourself, but also embracing the quiet. You're going to find that you are very charged and energized in the last half of September through the night, like through quiet meditation, through sleeping, through doing quiet things as the sun goes down, when you are able to connect with yourself, when you are able to see your dreams, when you're able to kind of like have noise die down and say, okay, where is it that I want to be? And it's you connecting with you. It's not you doing, again, everything for everybody else. It's you saying, what do I want? What do I need? Where do I want to be? And, you naturally have a feistiness to you, Scorpio, because in olden times, okay, back in the day, before Pluto was discovered, and now Pluto has been demoted, but Scorpio was ruled by Mars. I still see Scorpio as being ruled by Mars. That's how I look at things astrologically, which means that you still have a warrior spirit. You will always have a warrior spirit to you. Aries is ruled by Mars. Aries is the soldier on the field that, yells and goes into battle. You cannot deny the fierceness of Aries. Scorpio is harder to see because I see you as a spy. I see you as the intelligence gatherer. And that's what you do. That's what you do. It's not that you're betraying people or, anything like that. It's that you're taking in the information and then you'll see what you do with it. But there is a power and a fierceness to the knowledge that you acquire. And it brings us then to the environment. And this is the Lovers. So this is Gemini energy, time frame May 21st to June 20th. And what you're seeing here is this is your heart. You're embracing what you love. Gemini energy is also duality. In the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it is the Archangel Gabriel blessing a man and a woman, right? I see it as the Garden of Eden, but it doesn't have to be, right? Type of deal. What you're going to see is that there's this energy, okay, this angel of power, of authority, this archangel blessing you, guiding you, opening up the doors. There is also a sense of you falling in love with what you want. It can be passion coming into your life, most definitely. It can be awakening of passion where you're like, oh, wow, I haven't felt this in a while, type of deal. Or this sense of I am passionate for my life again. I have come out of this place of drudgery and I have stepped into this place of creation. And so that's what's moving you forward. That's what's blessing you. Now, you have the High Priestess as your hopes and fears. And the High Priestess as your hopes and fears is quite interesting because the High Priestess here is Caerdwyn. Okay, so Caerdwyn in Welsh mythology was a great sorceress, right? So let's rewind. Caerdwyn, great sorceress, very clever, very powerful. She had a son, wasn't as clever, wasn't as powerful. And she's like, listen, I'm going to help you out because I need to have a great kid. That was just it. Very important. Was a bit meaner about it, right? Because this is ancient Welsh and Wales and things were really intense. And in the ancient world, you needed to be fierce. So she takes her cauldron and she makes a potion, as she does, because she's a sorceress. And she needs that potion to be stirred for a day and a night without stop. And it will make her son clever. It will make her son the cleverest person in the whole entire world. And she's like, that's perfect. So she has a serving boy. He's worth nothing. He's a servant, probably a slave. And she's like, stir this pot. You will stir it all night, all day. Just keep on stirring. And she leaves. And so he does. He stirs and he stirs and he stirs. He's a little boy. And it bubbles. And it burns his finger. And he puts his finger in his mouth. He's still stirring the pot. But he's the first one to have tasted the potion. And so all the power of the potion goes onto him. So she is furious. She knows instantaneously that her son has been robbed of the gifts that she wanted to give him. And now this nothing has all this gift, all these magic, all this power, and he will become something. And so she hunts him down, as you do back in ancient Wales. She hunts him down. And because now he's magic and she's magic, he shapeshifts, she shapeshifts. He finally shapeshifts into a kernel of corn hiding in a huge, thing of corn, and she shapeshifts into a hen and eats him. And then, of course, because science and logic, she becomes pregnant with him, and she gives birth. She has a son who is the cleverest, most talented, most renowned boy of all time. She gets what she wishes for, not the way that she wished for it, not the way that she planned it. And she's an all-seeing, all-powerful being, and she couldn't quite foresee everything. So that's the hope and that's the fear right here. I cannot foresee everything. What about the twists and turns along the way? That's life. It makes life fun. It also makes life frustrating. What you're going to find is that you need to embrace your magic. You need to step into your fire, your passion, your tenacity, your determination. It's no longer just going with the flow of things, and it will become. You are actively taking a hand, especially in the last half of September, towards what you want, towards what you're building, towards what is super important to you. And it brings you to this place of being a student of your prosperity, of your success. And you might be thinking, well, that's rude. I don't want to be a student anymore. I have all this power. Why can't the queen be here? Why can't I walk forward as a queen, as power? Because you are building something. And this is going to be a time where your mind is filled with alacrity. You take on knowledge. You take in knowledge so beautifully. And it's all about, well, how can I make this grow? What about this and what about that? And let's look at this and let's look at that. Let's think outside this box. Let's do it this way. This is also Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Okay? You are going to see yourself stepping into a solidified power. You're planting it into the earth. And the sun is helping it grow. This is going to be a time where you're very practical, you're very down to earth, you're very driven, very determined, and it will serve you quite well, Scorpio. You are also going to be very drawn to people who ask really good questions, who might say things like, follow the math. And you'll be like, okay, fine, great, thanks. If you're not a numbers person, that's what I say when people say follow the math. And I'm like, oh man, here. You're going to find things like that. You're going to find people around you who tend to be very practical. And they're like, okay, let me show you. It'll be like this and it'll be like this. Look at it this way. Open up the doors. And because you do have that water sign heart, that kind, loving spirit come forward, there's a connection. There's a real sense of like, I want to see you achieve. And that is really brilliant. It moves us to your spirit message. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. And this here is purposeful. This is a purposeful time. It is a purposeful, there we go, time, because you are so driven. You are so talented. You are so focused on your goals, on planting the seeds of what you want, but also learning how to nourish it. And it doesn't matter your age. I know we always say, oh, yes, it does. No, it doesn't. You are always learning new things. Like sometimes we can get stuck in ruts. And it doesn't matter how old we are. We're like, no, but this worked. And it's like, okay, that worked. But now it's time to adapt. Like now it's time to change things up. Now it's time to make it different. And that's going to be important here. Because you are purposefully moving forward in your talent, in your prosperity, and in your drive towards something bigger, towards something more than you thought you could achieve, but also towards the seeds of greatness. And it brings us then to your chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Abundance and flexibility. So this is the root chakra, and this is the sacral chakra. The root chakra, you are supposed to be abundant, right? Prosperous, bountiful. Doesn't mean that, the coffers will be overflowing, but it does mean that you will be comfortable and supported. So there's an abundance to you, abundance of spirit, abundance of creativity, abundance of wealth. Flexibility with the sacral chakra, this is sensuality, this is creativity. Not being stagnant, not saying it has to be all one way or the other. You've also come out of that time where it's saying it has to be all this or all that. You're done. And you're seeing yourself in a different way. You're also seeing the movement of what you want, of what you're creating more openly, more aligned with where you want to be. It brings us then to the energy to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And show me clearly, angels. This is the 10 of Wands. Be mindful of taking on too much. Be mindful of overburdening yourself. Be mindful of chaos and intensity, okay? The 10 of Wands is putting everything on your back, right? Carrying it all. But it is also the realization of, I don't want to spend my life lugging around this chaos, this weight, this thing that is bending me to my knees. I don't want it anymore. And so at that point, there is this huge release. So Spirit is saying, be mindful. Be mindful, because we will have a tendency during this time, Scorpio, to take everything on, put everything on our shoulders. Oh, don't worry, I'll help you out. Oh, don't worry, I got this. Oh, don't worry, I'll put myself out for you. Totally got it. And then there will be the extreme of absolute resentment. Figure it out, handle it yourself. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm out. So be mindful of that energy, because we'll have the extremes. And it'll be like, well, where did this come from? It's like people don't see that it's been building for quite some time. It moves us then to our subconscious spirit message. And this is serenity, embracing peace, embracing calm. That's why Spirit said, nighttime you're going to be very inspired, because you're embracing a calmer energy. It is a softer light. It's like the light of the moon. The full moon is way softer, way gentler than the harshness of the sun. It moves us then to our chakra energy, which is personal power. And this is the solar plexus chakra. This is embracing your intuition. This is embracing your power. This is embracing your tenacity. And you are going to see yourself moving forward with fierceness, with intuition, with determination, and with focus. But this is going to be a time where you really live by the statement of trust your gut, and you are trusting your gut. It moves us then to the subconscious energy to be mindful of. And this is the Prince of Swords. This is action for the sake of action. This is fire. This is determination. This is focus. So you're going to see yourself here where Spirit is saying, hey, be mindful. Be mindful of somebody coming in and saying, I can solve all your problems. Be mindful of energy that is all about go and move, and it is better to be in action than to be standing still. Not always true. This is a hothead. Okay, this is somebody who talks a really big talk, can be very braggadocious, but the energy to be mindful of with the Prince of Swords, who is my White Knight card in good circumstances, but in bad circumstances, he is the cocksure prince that thinks that he can do everything and winds up being able to do nothing. So just be mindful about that during this time. It moves us then to our subconscious tarot message. And this is the Four of Cups. And the Four of Cups is God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, handing you a gift outside of your comfort zone that is more than you expected it to be. But it's also way outside of the realm of what you thought you should be doing right now, how you thought you should be going about this. And so what you're going to see is that what you thought you should be focusing on for the last half of September, it changes, but it's going to change through kind of like no fault of your own. And you're going to see yourself pulled in a different direction. And you're looking at things and you're like, what is this? Like, how am I doing this? And it's Spirit handing you a gift that doesn't feel like a gift at the time, because it feels like it's taking you away from what you should be doing, for how you should be doing these things. So just be mindful about this, that subconsciously you're going to be looking at things and being really stubborn. It's like, I know I should be doing this, and yet I don't have time for it. And yet that's going to be a really good thing, because Spirit is pulling you in a direction that actually winds up opening up a lot of insight and a lot of ideas to you, a lot of power to you. All right, Scorpio, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. I hope you have a blessed end of September and a blessed life. Bye.